Yeah, essays. Here we go. I got one pulled up. All right. And I will, let me do this. Share screen. Boom. And let me hide this show to me. Hide. Letting me go. Okay. State actor. I don't really care. State actor. Okay, fine. Due process. Here we go. 14th Amendment. Kick out of there. Procedural due process. You go into procedural due process, life, liberty, right, liberty. It's having the right liberty taken away from. Really? Applications denied. Argues grew up background, but not allowing PF waiver is not the opportunity to benefit from the program. Okay. They argue they're not taking, okay, it's not, he doesn't have an entitlement, qualified, not subject to new process. Okay. Or he is subject to it. However, based on the qualifications, he's likely to stand as a good cause. State will argue they're not taking in property. They're not. Therefore, he's not qualified. I don't see how you came to that conclusion because he didn't have the opportunity to benefit. Boo-hoo. Doug rejected from the program. Okay, raises income and given notice. No notice. Showed the fact he's denied. Court does find, in fact, loses rights. What rights? Type of notice is not one. Okay. Life of taking the court, find no need to give notice. Fine. I like the way you did that. Hearing, okay, neutral magistrate does not mean that does not plan. Okay. State will argue the scholarship situation does not qualify. Got it. Okay, fine. Substantive due process here. Doug, you argue the application and benefit of the community, right to education, the waiver, state like, I don't know what you're even getting at. No right to application, the standards were listed. Could raise the status was based on the fact for 20 years, the number of primary, I don't know what you're getting at here. No, you're just kind of repeating the facts without even really saying much. You don't need to do state actor again. Equal protection, here we go. Strict scrutiny, and based on race, argue the reason for doing so benefits citizens living lower income. That's fine, but the state will not be able to show the requirement of race. Good for you, compelling, excellent, nothing to do with it. Where he's from is not okay. Requires him to live in the community for 3 years. Is that what it is? Requires him to live in a rural community for 3 years? I think, okay. Therefore cannot show, it's 3 years? What was that? It says, a further factor is whether it was raised in the lower community, lived there in such a community for 3 years. Got it. Therefore cannot show the compelling is 3. Well, the 3-year thing might be, because that's fine, that'll get rational basis, but not the race thing. Compelling reason students required to live in a state for over a year. Okay, so I see you're kind of maybe going on to the right to travel, the residency requirements, but you're not really separating it perfectly. Okay. Here we go. Grade point average. Got it. Decline experience, future work, good applicant or not. Okay. And not likely to overcome this argument. Yeah, of course not. State actor here. Can't state action. Commerce. What the hell is commerce clause? Nothing about that. Nothing about dormant commerce clause. You're running out of things to say. May not treat non-citizens different. Okay, got it. Unless you can show us you make it more burdensome. Got it. Does not apply to aliens and corporations. Out-of-state citizen didn't treat it differently. Denied. Okay, cannot show us more burdensome and effective. Kind of a different argument, but got it. 5 years of Christ, it would be different for Doug. I mean, kind of mixing a couple things here, but fine. P&I here, no right to education. Doug return. More about wages. Program meant to pay. Okay, closer standard of wages. No right to discriminate or unduly burdensome in different wages. Same line of education really has to do with something else. Okay, so that one was confusing a bunch of concepts. Although you kind of grasped a very peripheral way of understanding it, you just kind of didn't really hit the bullseye anywhere close. Definitely not a 65. I'm between it's not a 50 because you did some things right. So I'm going to be easily between a 55 and 60. And I know they didn't give too many high scores. I know this is a tough one. I am thinking to myself, a 60 would be a very fortunate score. I think a 55 is a fairer score, although 60 wouldn't blow me off my chair. I just don't think you got it. 55, and it was belonging to OA.
It was a 50 and a 55.
55, wow.
I got a double read, whatever.
Yeah. I'm surprised at that 50. That seemed a little low, but 55, yeah. I'd have been more shocked with a 50 than a 60. So, but 55, I think, so you end up getting a 52.5.
Yeah,
now,
no, had no idea what was going on in that hour. So that's makes sense.
Yeah. And I know the way I read it, keep in mind when I'm reading it, I'm only reading out loud the things that my mind is obviously reading everything, but I'm speaking out loud the only things I'm seeing. But did everyone kind of see like she really didn't quite understand the arguments or what was going on there? Didn't quite get the residency thing. Thought he had some kind of right, but you didn't say what right they were taking away and the process he's given. And you kind of just didn't understand how that whole thing worked. I mean, I do make jokes about this, like about people. You're not entitled to anything. You understand that. You're not entitled, like, oh, I'm entitled. You're not entitled to anything. He's not entitled to this money. It's like they can choose whether or not to give it out. And that's the thing about procedural due process. I'm not taking anything that belongs to you. It's not like I'm taking you, it's not like I'm making you pay a fine, or I'm locking you in jail, or I'm taking away your bar card or your driver's license. That's what you have you have a right. That's an entitlement. But for free handouts, you have no right to that.